Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back. Happy hump day. Today's Wednesday. So, what happened today? Well, Bitcoin and the miners kind of rebounded a little bit today, but man, Ethereum had a nice day today. It was up nicely today along with the Ethereum treasury companies. Those guys did really good today. If you got into them yesterday, you're up nicely on those guys. But what do we got to talk about today? Not much news as far as miners are concerned. We'll talk about obviously what happened with Bitcoin miners as well as far as stock prices are concerned. We'll also take a look at some bullish news stories that we do have on Bitcoin. We also have a story that the United States might have sold Bitcoin. We'll talk about that. What else do we have here? We'll take a look at the enterprise metrics for the miners as well. How do they compare now to what they have as far as HODL is concerned, and how much HODL is not taken into account for some of these guys as well. So we'll get into all that. But as always, you guys know the drill. Not financial advice for him only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. And let's get into what's going on here with the markets today, with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and everything else here. So here we can see Bitcoin today was up a little bit. It had a little bit better day early on, or at least midday, and then it kind of pulled back down a little bit. But it was up today 0.76%. So that was good. It finished out at 118,681. And then we're down a little bit here on the new day. We're at still 118,364, so it's not too bad. Ethereum, on the other hand, holy cow, had a really great run here. Is it because of all these Ethereum treasury companies buying? Possibility, right? I think that's taking up a lot of the Bitcoin that's happening there. I think we talked about BitDigital buying some more. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. So there's just news stories are kind of starting to blur in with me on right now. But yeah, we talked about BitDigital buying some more Ethereum there. But Ethereum was up today 7.49%. It was up a total of, let's see, it went up, was it just only $235? Yeah, $235 was up, closed at $3,373. It's down a little bit on the new day, but the Ethereum treasury companies have done really good here. We'll get into those here in a second here. Nonetheless, the miners had a pretty good day for the most part. Bitfarms was up a little bit, 1.96%, was 2%. BitDeer was up 7.57% today. Kang was up 5.15%. Cypher was up 5% as well, was up higher. It looks like it got to a new high here recently, at least 657. Cleanspark was up 3.12%. It was up much higher than that during the day, and then came back down here. CORZ was up 1.16%. Hive was up 1.85%. Hut 8 was up 3.15%. IREN was up 2.55%. Mara 3.62%. Riot 3.88%. Wolf was up nicely today, 7.8%. Not much news happening there. MicroStrategy, as far as the holders for Bitcoin are concerned, MicroStrategy was up 3.07%. It's starting to come back up here a little bit, so that's looking pretty good there. Galaxy was up nicely today, 16.34%. What else do we have here? XOD, which is Exodus Movement, was up nicely, 21% today. And then some of the other ones were kind of mixed up and down a little bit here. Small miners were also up for the most part. Argo was down almost 4.5%, a little bit more than that. DigiPower, for some reason, was way back up again, 24% up, an increase on that one. DMG was up just a little bit. Mawson was up just a little bit. Canon was up 12.72. They did come out with a story or a press release that they are going to be focusing on their current business more on Bitcoin mining and Bitcoin ASICs instead of like I think they were trying to get into the AI chips or something like that. So that I think maybe spiked the stock there a little bit. So that was good for them to focus on that. Bitcoin or miner ETFs were pretty good. BitQ was up 4.67, BKCH up 485, DAP was up 527, WGMI was up 447. So that was pretty good there. Now check out these Ethereum holding companies here. BTBT was up 19% today, bouncing back up here nicely. BTCS was up 21%, was up higher than that even. Looks like it got to a new high for it. Yeah, it got to a high of 649 before bouncing back down. BMNR was up 12%. That one's still trying to figure things out. Game was up 52%. Today was up even higher than that, and it came back down. And then SBET was up 29%. This one's having a nice rally here recently, so that one's looking pretty good there as well on it. As far as Bitcoin dominance is concerned right now, we're at 63%, so we might be seeing some transitioning happening from Bitcoin into Ethereum right now. Because, yeah, I mean, we're seeing definitely a drop in the dominance here as we're seeing some of the other coins going up like Ethereum, Solana, and things like that. All right, so that's it as far as those are concerned. Miners right now in the after hours, BitDeer is up just a little bit, 0.3%. We got Bitfarms being up almost 1% there. Cango being up, or down, sorry, 0.19%. We got Cypher Mining flat. We got Cleanspark down 0.127%. Core being down 0.36%. Hive being up just to 0.91%. Hut 8 being down 1.3%. And then we got IREN being up 0.4% on that one. Mara is actually, let's see, it's up just a little bit, 0.1% on that one. Riot is down 0.48%. And TeraWolf is up a little bit, 0.76% as it is. And Bitcoin right now is still, let me refresh this really quick. It is, let's see, what do we got? Final result. Bitcoin's up 10.32% still for July. So that's looking pretty good there. On that one, Bitcoin ETF inflows, let's take a look at that as well. See where that's shaking up to be right now as it is. Yesterday, we had more inflows from IBIT. IBIT was buying 416 million there. We had a total of 403 million inflows from the ETFs for Bitcoin. Today, we'll find out what we had as well, but I'm guessing it's going to be pretty positive here. I mean, we've had only like one red day in the last probably 3 weeks or so. So things are looking still good for Bitcoin here. A lot of people are still buying it here. All right, next, some bullish news stories on Bitcoin. Maybe not some bullish news, but here's what we got here. So H100 Group has purchased an additional 75.53 Bitcoin at an average price of, what is that, SEK, 1,142,000 per BTC. I'm not sure what that is in the United States. Total Bitcoin holdings now 370. They continue to stack on that. This is kind of interesting here. This is talking about actually IREN. We'll get into that one here in a second. We'll get to that one at the end here really quick. Bitcoin Treasuries. Board of Canadian public company Metaverse Technologies approved plan to buy 6,000 Bitcoin by 2027. So in the next basically year and a half, they're going to be buying some more. Their ranking is 80 right now when it comes to HODL. So they're going to be buying more Bitcoin here going forward. And this again leads us to believe that we're going to have an extended cycle with Bitcoin because of all these companies buying Bitcoin. And now we're also seeing companies buying Ethereum as well. So this just adds more, I think, fire to having an extended cycle in Bitcoin where we don't have that 80% correction happening next year. At least that's the way I see this right now. All right, this might be a little bad news here for Bitcoin. This is from Senator Cynthia Lummis. This is a post that she put on X here. I'm alarmed by reports that the U.S. has sold over 80% of its Bitcoin reserves, leaving just 29,000, around 29,000 coins. If true, this is a total strategic blunder and sets the United States back years in the Bitcoin race. I would agree with that, right? So this is from Bitcoin Magazine. U.S. Marshals reveal the government now only holds 28,988 Bitcoin worth 3.4 billion instead of the estimated 200,000 Bitcoin. That is, when was this sold? Right? So we definitely need some more answers on this one because we all were thinking that the United States government still had around 200,000, and we were, making fun of Germany there for selling quite a bit there. But when did they sell it? Last year they sold it right around this time as well, when they should have been holding on to it. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get some more information on this, and then if this is true, right? And if it is true, well, then maybe we really do need to have a look inside the Fort Knox, see if the gold is still actually there or not. We need to do an audit. We haven't done an audit on that in a long time. So that should be done as well, I think, because if this is true, right, how much trust do we have that the Fort Knox still has all that gold in there? But we'll leave it at that. So we'll see what comes of this story. But obviously, the good news on this is the United States won't be selling any right now, so it won't be dropping the price of Bitcoin, right? If they've already sold basically 170,000 Bitcoin in the last couple years, well, there's not much left to sell. So they can't sell it and drop the Bitcoin price down anymore. That's looking at the positive side of the things. Next here, let's see here. Speaker Johnson says the Genius Act voting will be scheduled for tomorrow and Clarity Act possibly next week. He adds the House will include an anti-CBDC legislation to NDAA. I think one of those was the sticking points for Marjorie Taylor Greene there. So they're trying to get everybody on board with it, and they're going to add some stuff to it to appease some of the Republicans there, potentially maybe some Democrats as well, for not being able to do a CBDC for the United States or states or anything like that. So we'll see what happens of that. This is the latest that I could see on it. I didn't see anything else about it actually passing here, so I think they're going to vote on it tomorrow. So that would be good there. We'll get some clarity on that, both on the Genius Act and Clarity Act as well later on then next week. All right, and then this was kind of interesting to me. I found this from Franz Baker there. He's talking about IREN and Meta here. So Zuckerberg pitches a tent for AI. That piqued my interest right away. To move faster, Meta is deploying AI hardware in tents. They're not really tents. They're more like metal structure buildings but they go up relatively quick, easy to build, and it's just fast, right? Less expensive, quick to build. So those are all positive there. It takes time to build the new data centers, and Meta's AI ambitions simply cannot wait. I agree. Meta is kind of behind the ball here a little bit. They need to catch up somewhat to not only Grok, which is XAI, they need to catch up to also Google, and as well as to OpenAI, right? So those are their competition there. Continuing on here, that's why the company is now developing or deploying AI hardware in hurricane-proof tents so it can bring new capacity online as fast as possible. This is a quote here. So we pioneered this new method where we're basically building up these weatherproof tents and building out the network and the GPU clusters inside them in order to build them faster. CEO Mark Zuckerberg told the information. They are hurricane-proof tents. I mean, you can see these things. These things, I mean, maybe they are tents on the outside. Maybe that is kind of flimsy material. But on the inside, you do have these metal structures that make up these buildings here. And these things go up fast. One thing to note here that's interesting is obviously there are no backup generators here, at least that we can see on this side. I don't doubt there's going to be any on that side either. We don't see any that are going to be deployed here. So are they looking at it as if power goes out, we can still run the training models and everything else when the power goes back on? That might be it. Or they have some kind of guarantee with the power company that they will not lose power or something like that. I don't know. Continuing on here, the Meta deployments underscores the urgency of the need for speed in the AI arms race. The research firm Semi-Analyst has shared images of the facility, which are lightweight structures with design echoes of the old Yahoo chicken coop, which was optimized for fresh air cooling. Semi-Analyst notes the lack of diesel generators at the facility, right? We can see that here as well. You don't see those. There is some history to data centers in tents. Back in 2008, Microsoft designed pioneers Christian Belady and Sean James operated a rack of servers in a tent for 7 months with no server failures or downtime. The experiment proved that servers were sturdier than believed, laying the groundwork for warmer data halls and the use of fresh air cooling, which brought massive savings in energy use for data centers, which is true. Right? Those things are quite resilient. As long as they don't get wet or high humidity or something like that, that's usually the part that really hurts the systems there, the servers, is humidity, moisture. It also wouldn't be the first adventure in infrastructure like designed for Meta. In 2015, Facebook created cold storage data centers with no UPS or generators for housing older photos. See photo below. If the tents have limitations, Meta seems okay with the trade-offs given its long-standing interest in moving fast. And I would agree. So here's one of those old servers that's just holding old photos and things like that. Continuing on here, we're building multiple multi-gigawatt data centers, and we can basically do this all funded from the cash flow of the company, said Zuckerberg. We have a very strong business model that supports this. I view that as a competitive advantage. So, like I said, this is pretty interesting, right? Because, I mean, if they can do this and they're willing to do this, are other companies willing to do this as well, right? To get in and be in this race for HPC AI and generative AI as well. I don't know. We're seeing obviously some companies build out these massive data centers that are much obviously costlier to build out. Backup generators, right? All that stuff that goes into it as well. And if people can, I mean, for training, I think this is okay. But when you start dealing with having data on customers' data and things like that, I don't know if this would be ideal. You obviously want double redundancies for the most part. You want 4 nines uptime, right? So probably like 5 nines, 99.9999 uptime on that. But for training, I think this is okay. I don't see a problem with that. So let me know what you guys think of this one. And that's all I got for you guys right now. But this is definitely interesting. Take a look at it if you haven't. But yeah, piqued my interest for sure. All right, let's get into really quick here the miners. As far as miners market cap and enterprise, we're going to look at those things as well really quick here on these. On the miners and market cap, we look at the revenue over the last 3 months and the 12 months and look at the multiples that they're getting on their current market cap as it is. All right, so we can see market cap here for all these guys here is Mara's at 6.8 billion, Core at 5 billion, Riot at 4.5 billion roughly, IREN at 3.8. Cleanspark at 3.5, BitDeer at 2.6, Cypher at 2.3, and Hive is only at 364 million right now. as it is. Shares outstanding, you can see the number of shares they have last reported that we know of. Obviously, that's going to change here once they report Q2 numbers for us. And then obviously that will also change their market caps as well based on that number. 3-month revenue market cap multiple. So we can see here that BitDeer is getting a 59.9 multiple basically to the market cap of the revenue over the last 3 months. This is just on Bitcoin mining side of things. Does not include other business segments or anything like that. Cypher is getting a 45, Riot at 32, Mara 30, IREN 24, Cleanspark 18, almost 19 there, Hive at 11.2 multiple, and Kango 6.8. If we look at the last 12 months of revenue towards the market cap, we can still see that BitDeer is getting 16.7. They're getting the highest multiple right now. Cypher 12.4, Riot 9.4, 9 for Mara, 8 for IREN, Cleanspark 5.6, Hive at 3.1, which is actually lower than Kango 3.3, but we don't have data going back that far for Kango as it is. We only have data going back for them to the beginning of the year here, so from January more or less. And then here's their 3 months revenue here and 12 months revenue as well. Mara obviously is at 225 million, Cleanspark 187 million. So when you look at Cleanspark 187 million, but they're 3 months revenue 18.9 multiple on it, whereas BitDeer 59.9 and they're only at 44 million, right? But they also have the hosting side of things, which adds to it, but still that seems way overvalued based on what I can see here. And you can see the rest of them down here as well. 12-month revenue as well right now. Mara 759 million, Cleanspark 633 million, IREN 485, Riot 478, Kango 282. This is just for the last 6 months basically. Core 278 million, Cypher 188, BitDeer 159, Hive 116. So some things appear to be out of whack here. I can see it. Hopefully you guys can see it as well. Some things just don't make sense here as it is. And that's the market cap numbers for these guys to revenues. And next here, enterprise value. So if we look at enterprise value versus market cap as well. So enterprise value equals market cap plus debt minus cash minus HODL on this. I take out the HODL, the ones that do have it here. We can see the enterprise value for these guys. Mara has a 5.3 billion market cap or enterprise value. Core 5 billion. IREN 4.2. Riot 3.4. Cleanspark 3.3. BitDeer 2.6. Cypher 2.3. Hive 351 million. Market cap comparison to that. Mara does have a little bit higher market cap than their enterprise value, along with Core is actually pretty close, right there, 5 million or 5 billion to 5 billion more or less, within what $1 million of that. Then you got IREN here, a little higher than that. We can see the numbers down here as well, but you can see the rest of them down here. If we look at the market cap minus enterprise value, this is the difference without including HODL in it, right? IREN is actually under 379 million. Right, if I were looking at this correctly, market cap minus enterprise value equals the difference. Yeah, so market cap minus the enterprise value, IREN 300. Yeah, okay. So there's a difference there. It's actually above it. We got Mara 1.4 billion here. Difference between it to the positive side of things. Right, same thing, 1 billion roughly to the positive side. Cleanspark as well. But then when you include HODL into the enterprise value as well, things definitely look differently there. Mara should be like 4.4 billion higher in value on that. Cleanspark about 1.3 billion, Riot 1.2 billion, IREN 379 million positive, should be positive on that. Cypher should be up 155 million, BitDeer 177, Core 141 million, and Hive should be up another 59 million on top of it as well. So that's kind of where it looks right now. Right, things will definitely change once we get some new figures for their shares outstanding and things like that. When they report their Q2 results, and we'll update it at that point. We'll see where they stand right now. But you can definitely see some of these guys are not being valued on their HODL position. They're not really being, well, it's hard to tell whether they're being valued on their HODL position or they're being valued on their operations. In Mara's case, that's really tough because their operations sometimes are great and sometimes they're kind of poor, but they have a huge HODL position and still the stock is valued where it's at right now. So it is what it is. But the miners actually went up today and Bitcoin went up today. We'll see where we end up later on, right? It's not going to be a rocket ship to the moon here with Bitcoin. It's going to be up and down. It's going to be bouncy for sure. But in the long run, it's going to be to the upside, right? It's just in between these nice pumps that we do have here, we're going to have some corrections, some little ones, and then we're going to go back up as well. I believe that's still going to be the case here throughout the end of the year. All right, that is it. Let's get into Q&A here. As always, these spreadsheets are available to my Patreon members. Link for that is down in the description. Greatly appreciate you guys' support there, as always, and also the YouTube members here as well. So that's my sales pitch. Let's get into Q&A, see what you guys have as far as questions. If you could preface the questions with a question mark or a Q, I would appreciate it. And I'm going to work my way back on any comments, any questions, or anything like that. Let's see. John Kurtz says, hey, Seb, appreciate you. Please check out the crypto total market cap, up 16% in the last month. All crypto is going much higher as long as BTC keeps under 15,000. I believe so too, right? Bitcoin going up, it's going to also raise the other altcoins as well with it. That's always been the case here. But can they still perform as well as they have in the past? Taj asked, you think Trump going to fire Fed Jerome Powell? I did respond to him saying I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think he's going to fire him. On that one, I think he even said it today that the markets would probably not act kindly to that. So, but we heard stories that he might be firing him, so go figure. Let's see. Sadie, as always, thank you so much for the likes. Daniel asks, when Moon? Later on this year, we're still going to be going up here. All right. Let's see. All right. Fairfax got a question here. What do you think about the XRP treasury companies as a follow-on to the Ethereum and Solana treasury companies? Might be a possibility for sure, right? Will they pump? They might pump it really quick, like we've seen here with Ethereum treasury companies as well, and then dump it, and then eventually they might start going back up like we're seeing right now with some of these guys. David has got a question here. Riot is losing about 115 million. Do you think they will try to recuperate it in one of the class action suits against Bitfarms? I don't know. No, I don't think that's going to be the case there. Spin Second Serve says, sold 2,000 shares of Cleanspark to buy more AI company, BBAI. Still own 8,000 Cleanspark. Nicely. Very nice. Let's see. Rusty says, Riot spent all that money to do AI consultants, etc., and Meta going to put up tents. Got it. Yeah, I mean, I know, right? That's why I've been hesitant. I want to believe that these guys are going to do very well going forward here. When it comes to their getting customers for HPCI, right? But we've only seen really CoreWeave go with Core Scientific, Applied Digital, and Galaxy right now, right? Those are the big guys. As far as the mega players, the big guys, Google, Microsoft, Oracle. Oracle's, they're going in their own way with OpenAI. We're not seeing much in that front as far as any contracts from the miners here. So I'm still hoping that we do find something or get something in that form. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be rough. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see. Talked about that one. John Kurtz, can you discuss Cypher's onshore drug manufacturing? Onshore. Did they release something today? I checked their site around 7 o'clock. I didn't see any news reports on that. Where are you getting that from? All right. Mbessa says, Seb, I sold my last bit of Cleanspark and moved everything to Ethereum treasuries. Keep an eye for them as I think they are the next gem. We are covering them. We're keeping an eye on them for sure. And that might be the way to play. All right, Daniel. After the public offerings by Soluna today, share dropped big time. I personally think this is a huge opportunity for big upside. Do you agree? Can you follow them 36% from the low today? Let's see. What do they do? I know I've covered Soluna in the past, but when they got into trouble and weren't growing much, I got rid of them. Put them in, I don't even think I put them in the small miners. I didn't put them in the small miners. But let's see here. So Luna. Let's see. Soluna Holdings, I think it is. Yep. Okay. So this is based. Let's see here if I can find news from them. Bear with me. This is from July 14th. This is let me see here. Soluna Holdings. CEO John Belazier shares vision for scalable renewable computing in 2025 shareholder letter. Okay, that's not much. That's nothing there. What else do we have here? This is a day ago. Soluna Holdings announces pricing of $5 million public offering. Let's see here. Today announced the pricing of a public offering of an aggregate of 9 million shares of its common stock, pre-funded warrants, Series A warrants to purchase Shares are compensated at 55 cents per share, pre-funded. I mean, what is their market cap right now as it is? I mean, their market cap is something really small. Let's take a look at them. What is it? SLNA, I think it is. SLNH. All right, let's take a look at SLNH here really quick. Where's my sheet here? Let's go here. Put it up in here. All right. So the holdings, let's see here. Do we have market cap over here someplace? 63. So the stock was down 16%. It's down 5% after hours as well. Where is it at? Market cap. Yeah, 11 million, and they're getting 5 million. That's like 50% of the value there right now. I don't know. I know one big thing about them is that they do have a lot of these partnerships with different companies for their data centers, and I would have to really dive deep into as far as what those percentages are for them as far as ownership on those things. Yeah, I mean, this might be like a lottery ticket. If you buy it, you're basically, betting that you might be lucky enough to get a nice return on it. But that's kind of the way I would look at it, at least. All right, let's go back here. All right, talked about that one. Let's see, Mr. X. Is it true that Cleanspark is the only top miners no longer diluting their shares? This year, yes. They haven't diluted since November of last year. And they've been talking about not diluting at all this year at all. So we still have a couple more months to go. We'll see if that's going to be the case here. But yes, they are the only ones that haven't been diluting. Sour Melon Gaming says, Trump said live today that the Powell news wasn't true. Yeah, I saw that as well. Dynamite, all the big boys hyperscalers will do everything except buying infrastructure from Bitcoin miners, laughing my behind off. I'm hoping that's not the case. We'll see. All right. All Bitcoin miners pivoting to AI may get a rude awakening soon. We've been waiting for over a year on some of these guys to get a deal or something like that. They all talk about having discussions and things like that, but nothing has progressed. IREN and, well, we got IREN. Who else is moving into that direction? We got IREN, Hive, as well as BitDigital, obviously having their own GPUs and servers and small data centers for that, where they're leasing those out. So they're generating revenue on that. Could they just go into full bore, AWS mode, where they build out their own data centers? I mean, they could, but it's going to be damn costly. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, Mr. X, Hut 8 share price has gone up a lot after not doing too good. Do they have a lot of good upside, like the top 4 miners, Mara, Riot, Cleanspark, IREN? It's gone up, I think, because they are shedding, well, not really shedding, but they're moving their Bitcoin mining into American BTC, which they still will own 80% of that. But then they don't have to obviously report on the cost associated with it, which can be quite expensive. So that should help them out there. So I think maybe that's why it's moving up. And they've also kind of rebranded themselves a little bit. That's kind of helping things out. And they do have some potential there as well, right? They have quite a few sites as well, quite a few megawatts. So we'll see. All right. Gary Pallet says, Seb, you keep questioning the value of HPC sites, but you never state an option of an alternative place of energy is available. Where are all the free sites to meet demand if miners aren't used? Hyperscalers are finding them, right? I mean, you can see what Meta just did. I don't know how many megawatts they're using up there. You also saw XAI. They got 100 megawatts. They're going to like 300 megawatts, I believe, possibly even further than that. Elon Musk is supposedly buying a power plant overseas and bringing it over here to the United States to build out. You got Microsoft getting in with 3 Mile Island, right? That's, what is that, 2 gigawatts there, whatever that's going to be of power for them in the next couple of years. Who else? Amazon is getting 700 megawatts at a site in Pennsylvania, I believe it is. Can't remember the name of the company that they partnered there with. So they're finding these sites, right? Even though I know IREN has a huge 2 gigawatt site, but is it in a location that they would want it in, right? And then also, do they want all that? I mean, well, Elon Musk wants a 2 gigawatt site to build out. So, I mean, IREN would be ideal, I think, maybe for him. But yeah, I mean, It boggles the mind, right? These guys, miners have the energy, the megawatts, everything else, the sites, and you would think that with it being such a arms race in HPCI, that hyperscalers would be fighting over these sites. But it's been a year, nothing yet, right? We still could get something, obviously, right? I would love to see it, like IREN get something or Cypher get something, and I think that would be great for the rest of the space as well. But we're not seeing it right now, so proof is in the pudding, right? We need to see something actually happening. Trust but verify, basically. All right, Brad's got a question here. Cleanspark getting over 13 and then 15 and staying there, slowly but surely rising towards the 20s and 30s. We've been up over 13 and then down. Like to get your thoughts. Yeah, it's like 13 is a kind of a ceiling for right now. It needs to get above that, close above it, and actually go up higher from there. So I'm looking for that as well. But I do think it will get to 20s later on this year, as long as Bitcoin goes to like 200,000 plus or 200,000, and then the stock could go up $20 plus. Daryl says top miners will pump after earnings. Yeah, some of these guys will definitely have positive earnings. That will be a good thing. Let's see. Private says, sorry for the jumbled question. I'm tired. Just wanted your thoughts on Cleanspark going forward with their stock price rising and holding on to their gains. Do you think it's going to happen? I do think it's going to happen. We just need Bitcoin to go up in value even more. But they've had a nice run up here since April. A lot of these guys have had a nice run up here. They've outperformed Bitcoin, since April, basically. So I love seeing that. Excuse me. Because that does mean that the miners are catching a little bit more of a bid against Bitcoin here, which is nice. And hopefully that continues for the next 5 months or so, till the end of the year, basically. Okay. What else we got here as far as questions? I think that's it. I think I've caught up to all you guys' questions here. We're going on actually half an hour, so it's actually a pretty quick show tonight, surprisingly. Yeah, if you guys don't have any other questions, we'll call it a day. So we'll see what happens with the miners tomorrow. We'll see, what these hyperscalers are going to do, if they're going to get into bed with any of these Bitcoin miners for their megawatts. I see one from Gap Filler coming in here. See your $20 Cleanspark is a joke at BTC 200,000. That would really suck. Depending when you got into it. For me, that would be still, I would be up at that point like 300% from when I got into it. Those are pretty good gains. I'll be happy with that. It's definitely not going to be the 70x gains like we saw in Mara last cycle, but I'll take it. That'll still be good. Private says I'm hoping for $33. Could definitely get there as well, depending on how much, people start buying into these things, how fast Bitcoin goes up to 200,000, things like that. And then Sadie, always appreciate it. Thank you, Seb. I always appreciate you as well, Sadie. Thank you so much for the likes and everything, and coming in pretty much daily here. Greatly appreciate it. But yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see where the miners go. We'll see where Bitcoin goes. We'll see where everything goes. And then we'll see if we get the Genius Bill Act passed. And then we'll talk about anything else we have as far as HPC AI goes, anything else that is Bitcoin related, Ethereum related. We'll talk about all that stuff as well. So I will see you guys tomorrow. And then, I see one more question here coming in from Mr. X. Don't you think this BTC cycle will be different after the adoption? Yes, I do think. I've been saying that for pretty much probably like 6, 9, or 12 months even. I've been saying that the cycle is going to be different because of all the adoption that we're seeing here. And the more I'm seeing it, the more I'm believing that it's going to be a different cycle. But I could be wrong. But I do think it's going to be a different cycle already. It's acting out completely different from the last. All right. So that is it. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. As always, thank you so much for coming in. Love you all. I hope you guys have a great Thursday. And I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Till then, bye.